And sourcing is basically the finding or the retrieval of information that other people can't find. And you're basically using unconventional tools to find people. Okay. And you're turning non-applicants in now to applicants. Mm-hmm. Okay. For the sourcer, it starts with the research first, right? Maybe you'll do some intel, market intel as to, whatever the role is for a particular, for a particular hiring manager that they're looking for. We do the research, the market intel, and then, we have that intake meeting. I may ask a hiring manager, are there any implicit words that might suggest that on a person's profile that this person is, let's say, data scientist or a machine learning engineer? Are there any implicit words other than machine learning engineer, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing? Is there anything that, even if the person doesn't have machine learning engineer on their resume, what should I look for? Is it applied scientist? Is it applied researcher? Is it, is it algorithm engineer? Things like that. A lot of these folks are disguised in words that may imply that this guy's actually a machine learning engineer. He's doing deep learning, he's doing NLP, he's doing, he's doing anomaly detection, he's doing, fraud detection, things like that. But if he doesn't say he's a machine learning engineer, how do how would one know that, that person is a machine learning engineer? Or, how do we know that he or she isn't a machine learning engineer? I'll start in Google. Okay. And typically how we'll start it is, if I'm looking for machine learning engineers, I'm just going to put machine learning and see what I can find. Right. Oh, I'm getting a bunch of, mumbo jumbo or whatever. And then from that point, I'll start to iterate, my searches. So typically, it'll start with either a site colon or in URL colon or, in title colon. But there are times when I can use all of those operators or that syntax in one line. It just really depends, right? But, and you have to it's almost like you kind of have to go by feel too. And this is where you're eliminating, you're adding, you're constantly, eliminating and adding and eliminating and adding, so on and so forth, to come up with the right set of results that you're looking for, and then obviously, using the what do you call this? The false positive, getting, using the false positive, the minus sign to eliminate those false positives. That's like kind of the exclamation to, okay, I want to get rid of all of the noise. I don't want to see anything that might be relevant to a service or a, resume data, resume bank or anything like that, So that's basically how I go through. But there's so many iterations, and I write them down because I want to know, which ones didn't work and which ones worked, right? Once we figure that out, then you can fine tune. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's basically what, and I do the same thing on LinkedIn too. Like I'll do a search iteration, and then, I'll write it down and, see what kind of results it gives me. If it doesn't give me the results that I want, then I go back and do another iteration. Did that one work? So, it's really about, being able to figure out, okay, why did this work? Right. And why didn't this work? Right. And kind of analyzing that.
Yeah.
And, most recruiters don't think to do this, but it's important that you do, because you have to understand why something worked as opposed to why something didn't work, right? So we have to be very cognizant of that. And then from that point on, we do the pipelining, right? And then the engagement. And then we screen. And then after the screen, if we feel like, hey, this person's a great fit, boom,